Hi there guys, Neil at Italia Autos here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to be stripping down one of the two 145s from the other week's episode where we decided to save the accident damage one. What I'm going to be doing today is stripping all the damaged parts off it, seeing what's damaged underneath on the body panels, cutting those off if need be. I've got to remove the radiator, the front bumper, basically everything at the front end to make sure everything's all lined up. So let's get cracking on with that. Problem with accident damaged cars is everything gets bent and nothing ever comes apart like it should do, even on something as little as the damage on this one. Right, so here's the front end. It's all quite battered and bruised. This front panel is totally bent. I would imagine it might be pulling the chassis legs in a little bit, but by the time we cut this off, it should spring back open again. I've also found lots of damage down here, well, rust even. So that's going to want cutting out and welding up. I think the other side was okay. Yeah, that side's okay. There's no coolant in that anyway. Big boy toys are coming out now because that damaged front panel is stopping the radiator from coming out. So what I've just seen is if you see that chassis leg there, it's pointing that way. And then look at that one. It's pointing that way. So I'm going to need to bend that chassis leg back straight at some point as well. But we'll get it all stripped down first. I'm in shock. I just thought we better try and remove the AC rad. It wasn't pressurised up, which was kind of a blessing really, because I hadn't got to get that drained then. And I thought, I'm going to undo these two connectors for the rad, and they're never in a million years going to come off. But no, I just undone them, and off they come straight away, and that like never happens ever, especially on 25-year-old cars. So where are we at now? We're almost disassembled completely on the front end part. But as you can see, that chassis leg is well and truly bent. So I've got a nice little task of straightening that out. I kind of wish I'd left a little bit more here then, but I can weld something on and bend it back over. That shouldn't be too hard to sort out. So I'm going to finish taking off these front headlight supports and the centre cross rail. I need to get a front cross member ordered because I thought I had one, but I hadn't. And then that is it. But I have spoken to the customer, and the donor 145, he's owned that since 2006. He's had all the welding and everything done on it, and he knows it's at that point now where there's no point saving it because of those chassis rails underneath. They are totally gone. So he's spending the money on doing this one instead. And what we've decided to do is we're going to remove the engine, remove the subframe, and we're going to refurbish pretty much everything in the engine bay. So I've definitely got a few more episodes in this one to do with you. Well, I'm well and truly into this one now. There's nothing left on the front end. I think now it's time to remove the subframe, the suspension, and the engine. Subframe's now off. One of the drive shafts does seem to be stuck in the hub, but I'll get past that, not a problem. The subframe itself, yeah, it does need refurbishing. As you can see, it's rather crusty and rusty. Worst bit sort of been here. If this had been left, this would have got a lot worse here, and that's where it would have rotted through. Anti-roll bar links, they're also cracking, so they need replacing. The wishbones are not actually too bad, but as they look disgusting, we'll get those changed as well. So all that's left now is to remove the big lump. I've already started removing the fuse box and the battery tray, so that's already gone. So it shouldn't take much longer now. All it needs is a few electrical connectors, engine mounts, a few bits of pipe work, and that engine should be out sort of within the hour, I'd imagine. Mark everything up so I know what side it's got to go back on. And yes, that is power steering fluid, which is black. We should be ready to let the engine down now, and we should be all free. So we're almost done. Engine is now out, subframe's off, all the damage is there to be seen. So let's have a look around it, and then this video is done. One thing I did notice was there's tons of oil in cylinder number 2, so we're going to want a new rocker cover gasket on that. Everything else appears to be okay from what I can tell. There's no other massive sources of oil leak, apart from the stuff that's dripped out while I was removing the engine. I found out that the oil leak on the bottom of this is coming from the dipstick, the bottom of the dipstick tube, so we can sort that out, not any issues at all. Now let's go over to the car itself. Now this is one of the reasons why I wanted to pull the engine out, is because of all this crustiness up here and along here, because on the other one you saw how rotten that one had gone, and this one is almost like that. So unfortunately this shell isn't as good as we thought it was, but we can repair all this now the engine's out, and hopefully with all this wiring and everything out of the way we can get it to a totally rust-free chassis. We're going to try and order 2 new bottom bumper supports. This side it's gone all crusty down here, a little bit of rust there, and again all the way under here, but there's no holes and we're not anywhere near there being a hole. It's just crusty, so we should be able to clean all that up. And there you go, you can see that twisted chassis rail now. It's not much, but it's enough for it to kick everything out of line. In here we have some rust up here. This is probably going to want some welding as well. Yes, it will want some welding. As you can see, I've now made a hole there. Along here, it just wants tidying up more than anything. No hole there. Let's go around to this side. Again, going to want some welding there as well, I think, but we'll clean that up and then see how bad that is. Oh yeah, I can see a hole already. Look, there we go. Look, poke my finger right the way in, and we have got a hole there. That's where the mount is for the arch liner, so that can all be repaired without too much stress. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next episode on this 145.